Go live. I think we are live. Not sure if I have anybody else with us. Welcome to. Here we go. Customizations are here. Got it. We are live. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to the evolution of Auscare Support and the NDIS, a wrap for 2020-21. It's 10:59. We're going to wait for just another minute or so before we kick off. And looking forward to this summary and wrap of the year to date. A big year for the NDIS. A big year for us all, obviously. If you're coming from New South Wales, you'll be in the midst of additional restrictions and lockdowns due to COVID. We're lucky at the moment in the Southern Highlands. We come to you from Bowral, where the restrictions haven't been applied so vehemently, although I do have my mask. I think technically I'm supposed to be wearing it inside. 11 o'clock. 3 people on the call, on the video, on the webinar. We'll just give it one more minute to see if we can get any more people coming on board. And thank you for being on time. The webinar will be 15 to 20 minutes, I think, this time. It's the 5th in the series that we've done. For those of you who have not joined us before, the webinars are fairly interactive. If you'd like to ask questions or post comments, please do so in the comments box. As I say, this is a good chance for me just to give us a wrap on 2020-2021. And I'll kick off now. Thank you for those of you who are here. My name, for those of you who don't know, is Max King. I'm the CEO of Auscare Support. And before we get into the guts of the webinar, I'd like to just take this moment to acknowledge country. In the spirit of reconciliation, Auscare Support acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and we extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. The traditional owners of the land in which we are hosting this webinar are the Gundagara people. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. As I said, my name, for those who don't know, is Max King, and I am the CEO and founder of Auscare Support. We are a national provider of NDIS services. We have focused on the intermediary space, so we are support coordinators and plan managers, but as you'll see, we have extended our service offering during the course of this year and are excited to announce some plans for the coming year. We are today going to cover some of those key milestones that Auscare Support has achieved. We're also looking at the Disability Royal Commission and the Tune Review, independent assessments. I give you my opinion on those, and talk about COVID and obviously how we're all dealing with that at the moment. So some exciting news for us. We gathered together as a head office team. I think there were 24 of us that got together in the Southern Highlands in May. And the reason we got together in May was to try and launch into July of next year, financial year, with all our ducks in line. And I have to say, it was an amazing experience to be back in together. We definitely had missed that face-to-face contact. And in fact, some of the people that we had working for us for a while hadn't met some of their colleagues. So it was really important for us to make that connection. And it underlines to me how important face-to-face contact is. And it really highlights the fact that, some of our clients don't have the liberty of that face-to-face contact, and particularly in this lockdown period and with COVID around, they have to be extra specially careful. And so that's something that we were all aware of. The meeting kicked off with, I guess, a reinforcement of what it was that Auscare Support, when it was created, we set out to achieve, and our mission statement has always been to empower great futures for our clients and their families, and that means a lot to me. It's something that I wrote down. I think it was back in 2016-17 when the business was just a pipe dream. And I think that we have stuck to the core of what that means to us. But in addition, this year we felt it's important to, add to that, and we've created what we consider to be a Stakeholder Charter. So stakeholder, anybody that's involved with Auscare Support, whether you are a client of ours, whether you're a contractor working for us, whether you're a candidate applying for a role with us, we would like to, pin our colours to the mast and say that we will treat you with integrity, transparency and openness. Three key elements that I think are principally driving, our interactions with individuals. We are interested to see how we can continue to live and breathe those goals and those values, and continue to derive, as I say, our mission statement to empower great futures. So the year itself has been not without its challenges, but we are pleased to continue to focus, as I say, on our core business, support coordination, plan management, and our partnerships model. To date, we support over 1,300 participants, and we provide over 1,600 services to those clients. We're very proud of the growth that we've achieved, and I feel that we have done so whilst remaining true to that mission statement and true to those values. Excuse me. We are, however, not resting on our laurels, and in 2020-2021 we introduced a new channel of the business called Budget Builder and Budget Builder Plus. And Budget Builder and Budget Builder Plus are extremely important and valuable tools for participants to be able to break down their plan, their budgets across the course of each month or week or day by line item. And that ensures that participants and their families can budget and plan for the services and supports that they receive with confidence that they'll hit the end of the year having spent 100% of their plan, not 120% or not 70%. And unfortunately, those are the figures. We hear 69% of funds are spent, and that obviously leaves 31% unspent. And whilst there are some positive reasons for that, potentially people are getting more efficient services, the reality is that the underspend is something that we feel is critically important that we address. And our Budget Builder and Budget Builder tools, we feel are the important, next steps in addressing that. We are excited. We've got a couple of plans to try and go on the road with Budget Builder and Budget Builder Plus to try and get out into communities to really sort of start to activate those channels. But then in 2021-22, we're excited. We are moving into direct support work. It's something that I've always been keen for us to do the way Auscare Support does it. So we're going to be focused on, mentoring individuals and providing mentors rather than support workers per se. We are also additionally looking at driving some movement into therapies. So it's an exciting watch this space. And geographically, we're pretty excited to say we've moved into Southeast Queensland. We've got representation of support coordinators in the Hunter region, the Central Coast. We have moved into the ACT, to Canberra. We found it very difficult to hire there, but we persevered, and I'm pleased to say that that's paid dividends. We are also now having support coordinators in Melbourne, and we're in discussions with an individual in Tasmania. So excited to be part of that growth. It's always been our intention to have support coordinators and a national footprint, driven, and supported by a head office team here in the Southern Highlands. And very shortly, we've slated the 9th of July for a release of a new website, content rich, really taking a step up in where we are with our, with our online content. But in addition to that, I'm very pleased that we are stealing an idea from Atlassian, and that's a personal interest project. And that personal interest project is essentially an ability for any of the team to spend a day a month on a project completely at their own choosing, and with no caveats from us in head office. A personal interest project that they may want to work on, and we are happy to support them one day a month to work on that. They don't have to. It doesn't have to be related to Auscare Support necessarily, although obviously we think that it would be useful for it to be. And that the concept of that is that we want people just to kind of work on some wacky ideas or something that they think is really missing from either their community or us as an organisation, and report back. And it's part of our quest to become a deliberately developmental organisation. It's really important for us that we support our team members, and I'm really excited to see what people come back with on their personal interest projects. We've also spent a lot of time and money invested in some learning and training and development. We are committed to continually professionally developing our team. And again, it'd be interesting to see the take-up of that. We obviously have always been committed to DSC training and Support Coordination Academy training. So I really feel like we're getting all bases covered. The NDIS itself, however, is still a huge thing. We are very excited to see numbers of people supported by the scheme now upwards of 430,000. In the last quarter, we believe there are 10,000 children that are receiving support for the first time. About 4 in 10 participants, we understand, are getting support coordination. Obviously, we as a support coordination outfit would prefer that to be much higher. We understand it is a scheme and it has to become sustainable, but obviously in terms of just getting people activated, we think support coordination is a great way. And of course, for those people who don't have support coordination, that's where our Budget Builder and Budget Builder Plus tools can help and channels can help. Approximately 40%, I think, plan managed, and again, we'd like to see that grow. We think that plan management has a nice sort of hybrid model between agency and self-managed. Enables you to draw on the supports of a plan manager, and I'm very excited that our plan managed clients will be getting access to the Budget Builder tool. So for anyone that is Auscare Support Plan Managed, we will assist with breaking down your plan if you would like us to. We are part of one of 20,000 registered providers, so lots of registered providers, which is awesome. Lots of providers providing services that are unregistered and providing services to plan managed clients and self-managed clients. But the overarching response again is still only 70% of funds being spent, so we'd like to see that upwards of 90. Obviously 100% would be ideal, but probably a pipe dream. It's something that's always going to have a little bit of an issue. So yeah, the scheme's obviously growing there, and not without its challenges, as the Disability Royal Commission and the Tune Review have identified. So the Disability Royal Commission began in 2019 to investigate violence, neglect, abuse and exploitation of people with disability. It's an ongoing investigation, and a final report is to be submitted to the Australian Government by the 29th of April 2022. We support the Disability Royal Commission and would be keen to support any of our clients or their families who would be interested in submitting to that. So if there is something that you are particularly keen to get off your chest, and you would like our support on that, please just reach out, because we're happy to support our clients to do that. The Tune Review, I'm going to put a link into the comments, which is a Disability Services Consulting DSC review of the Tune Review. I think they do it much better than I do. But interestingly, the Tune Review recommendations are due to be submitted to Parliament on the 1st of July. So I don't know about Parliament schedules per se, but it'd be interesting to see both the submissions once they are submitted, but also the response from both parties. Obviously, we've seen a change in the rhetoric from the current government with regards to the NDIS and the scheme sustainability. And we'd be interested to see whether the Tune review, which was initially supported by all the government, both parties, bipartisan support, would be interested to see whether that now has some watering down or some, I guess, deflection around what originally was hoped to be achieved by Tune and his review. So watch this space. I'm sure, again, we'll get some correspondence. So if you'd like to sign up for newsletters, we'll be presenting some newsletters and some support around that. One of the big changes at the moment, independent assessments. And I've got a couple of interesting views on these, and mainly my positive thoughts on the independent assessments comes from John Walsh, who was originally one of the founding fathers, I guess, of the NDIS, and a podcast that he did with DSC with Roland Nuttall and Sally Coddington with regards to, Roland and Evie Nuttall. Apologies. So yeah, the independent assessments should have been, when the scheme was originally started, they should have been independent. That was the way that most insurance schemes assess an individual. And of course now, if you try and introduce them later on, they appear to be a much more draconian and unpleasant situation. Having said that, the concept behind them and the concept behind the fundamental sustainability of the scheme is important, and from our perspective, scheme sustainability is something that we are very aware of. We really are wanting the scheme to be its best possible scheme, not just now, not just in 2 years' time, not just in 10 years' time, but forever. And for us for the scheme to achieve that, I believe there is a role for independent assessments. Obviously, they've been put on hold. The new Minister Reynolds, has put them on hold for the moment, seeking more clarification and correspondence and communication with the industry. But as unpleasant as they may seem, I think if you consider the long-term goal of scheme sustainability, then independent assessments are important to be part of that. That's not to say that the independent assessment process is not confronting and is not more unpleasant than the current situation where your supports and your providers, your allied health providers, your therapists are providing reports around your certain circumstances. But we understand that there's I guess longer term pictures at play here. Again, it's one of those watch this space type of issues. Happy to enter into dialogue and chat with anybody after the webinar, if that's something that anybody would like to engage with. So look, I guess as a final point, we're back into COVID restrictions. COVID has always been here. My view is that this is the new normal. We need to move forward with all of the COVID, I guess, playbook in our hands, and by that I mean we need to understand that COVID is here, and there is a requirement around supporting individuals from a mental health perspective, from a health perspective. We as an organisation have always invested in our PPE. We've supported clients and their families and support workers with PPE. So if you are looking for some and you would like some, you just need to email info@Auscare Support and just tell us what you would like. We're happy to share some of what we have. We have masks, we have gloves, we actually have hazmat suits as well. Originally we were getting those to make sure that we could distribute them if people needed them. So but the basic concept of get vaccinated. Mine's scheduled for the 8th of July. I've got the Pfizer vaccine down here in Mittagong. I'm excited to have it. And I guess please look after each other, stay safe. It is the new normal. And follow the Department of Health's guidelines. Yeah, I mean, it's confusing, I know, but it's just, as I say, it's something that we have to understand is here to stay, in my opinion. There is a hotline, 134-COVID, 134268, if you are keen to understand where the restrictions apply to you or if there's concerns. my son and I got tested. It's not very pleasant, but it's certainly not as unpleasant as it used to be. It's a sort of cotton swab into the nose and into the back of your throat. Results came back quite quickly. We're both negative, I'm pleased to say. So we are, but we're still following on the guidelines of the public health order. So yeah, complex year that we've had to navigate. As I say, we were very excited to be back face to face as an organisation, as a team. We're very excited about the growth that we've experienced in the last 12 months, for the last 4 years. We really feel strongly that we have built an amazing team. When I looked around the room at the 24 people in the room, amazing experience that we're all sharing, amazing spirit, very strong desire to all pull in the same direction. So there's nobody here that's grandstanding or showboating. It's very much a case of how do we make sure that Auscare Support grows now from the 1,300 to 1,500 to 2,000 clients to 20,000 clients. Who knows how big we can get, but as long as we can do it the way we do it and as well as we do it. So we're excited for that. And yes, thank you very much for those of you who are watching. We have some comments and questions if there's anything like that. It's 11:19, so that's a nice efficient webinar again. I wish I could see some responses. It's always really interesting just talking to yourself. I'm not sure if there are any questions. I can't see any. I don't know. Jackie Chews, great, thank you. Thanks, Jackie. Nice to see you. Jackie Chew, I think that's been answered, Jackie, but thanks, Jackie, for logging in there. As I say, we are always looking for new clients and new employees. So if you're interested in either becoming a client of Auscare Support or you are looking potentially to work for Auscare Support, please do reach out. 1-800-940-515. How many support coordinators do we have? Jackie, good question. So we're at about 30 support coordinators at the moment, geographically spread mainly along the East Coast, but we also have a few in Adelaide. And so we are continuing to grow that channel of the business. If there's someone that you particularly would like to introduce to us who needs a support coordinator, if we can't help them, then we have lots of people, lots of organizations that we could refer them to, because as I always said, if we're agnostic to the solution, as in if we can't help someone, if we don't think we're the best people to help them, we'll pass them on to someone who can. It's always been our view that there's plenty of work to go around, and we really need to make sure that we're doing the best that we can. So that's that. Leanne Fleurette, is support worker section coming up? Yes, it is. Yeah, so one of the key goals for Auscare Support in 2021-22 is to drive both direct support workers, access to community social participation. So we're very, very keen to both reach out to anybody that needs a support worker who's not currently an Auscare Support client, or support workers who'd like to provide support work and become under the umbrella. We're going to try and do that slightly differently, as I said. So obviously we will do, your what we call sort of, standard support workers, where you participate in access to community and social participation. But what we're also trying to do is we're trying to do that firstly on the basis of giving people full-time or part-time employment, so they're part of the team, they're not casual. But we'd also like to do that where we actually work with groups of support workers to provide a framework of support for an individual. So we're trying to just work on how do we introduce that and how do we do that in the way that I guess represents Auscare Support as an organisation, because it's important for us that it's done the way we would like to be done. Reliability, as we know, is often one of the key drivers of concern around people with support workers. And again, how do we as an organisation ensure reliability, and if someone can't make it, then we have some supports in there. So it's about a sort of team-based approach. So that's so we're very keen. If Leanne, I'm not sure your position, if you're looking for work or if you have some needs for a support worker, but look, reach out to us on the 1-800 number or come through to me directly. My email is max@Auscare Support. It's pretty simple, so max@auscaresupport.com.au. I'm happy to talk to you about your individual situation. Any other questions there? All right, well, look, as I've said to you all, please stay safe. COVID is here. Mask up, wash your hands, sneeze into your elbow, but also just maintain contact with people who may be isolated and vulnerable. I think if we can all pull together, we can all support each other, we'll find that this is a much more, I guess, an easy transition to new normal. How do you describe this? So Jackie, I'm not sure your question there, I'm sorry. How do you describe the service? Not sure I understand the question. Maybe just, if you could just excuse me. I'll just give Jackie a moment, I think, maybe just to tell me exactly what she's thinking. Okay, well, Jackie, I'm happy to take this conversation offline. Obviously, it's been a while since you and I have chatted. Glad that you've made it to the webinar. Excited to obviously hear some of your news. You've been a great supporter. So you've got a few services. What's unique or different? Well, it's a good question. So Auscare Support was always created on the basis of a very agile concept. So the agility enables us to, I guess, focus on what is the outcome we're looking to achieve and how do we achieve that efficiently. The support coordinators that we have engaged with are all, I guess, focused entirely on their delivery of the best possible support coordination services in their community. So we have a strong head office department that does a lot of the heavy lifting around audits, compliance, billings, service bookings, PRODA, finances, funding, all that sort of niggly bit that probably are detracting from you as an individual just providing best possible support coordination. That's probably one of the things that I think is the strongest model, strongest part of the model, and unique service offering from the support coordination perspective. Our plan managers, we've invested heavily in technology in the last 12 months for the plan management team. So at the moment, we have a very, very efficient system for processing invoices and the very guts of and the sort of the basics of plan management. The flip side of that, I guess, is that we have a strong focus on customer service and providing additional, I guess, services around our plan managed clients, in addition to supporting those plan managed clients, as I said, with the budget builder tool. So that's unique to Auscare Support. There's nobody else that's doing that sort of service. And we have an innovative model around partnerships. So as those of you who've been with us for a while would know that we have a partnership with Mabel. We are looking to sign a contract with a second partner today, and in fact have conversations with a third on an ongoing basis. So hopefully that model, that innovative model that we've developed with partners that enables people to use non-registered providers if they're agency managed, that should extend as well. So again, we take an innovative approach. So there's a few bits and pieces that we are also working on with regards to focusing geographically on deep hubs. So we're looking at a Ballina hub, a Nowra hub, a Bowral hub, and a Blacktown hub. So 4 hubs, which will be a new model as well for us, which will be exciting to see how that develops, rather than it being necessarily so, I guess, thin on the ground with support coordinators. We're going to go a deep dive with support coordinators, therapists, support workers, mentors, and that's going to be tailored and unique to each geographical location. So it's not going to be a one-size-fits-all model. It's going to be what works for Nowra, may not work for Ballina, may not work for Bowral, and we're going to try and tailor that. So that's pretty exciting. Again, watch this space. That'll be good. Thanks for the question, Jackie. Hope that answered it. Look, it's 11:28. I'm a stickler for keeping these things on time. I've got time for one more question. Is there anybody that would like to ask me something? There you go, Jackie. There's a response as well. Look, thank you all very much. I very much appreciate you taking the time to catch up with me. We are excited to announce the next webinar, which is at the end of July. Joseph, you'll have to confirm dates with me. I'm afraid I've gone a bit blank. We are excited to be showcasing an innovative product, which is mortgages for NDIS investment. It's something that we understand is quite new to the marketplace. It's something that's an innovative product that will be introduced. We are hoping to get it out to more people. We have no skin in the game. It's just something that we think is an innovative product, and we'd like to just introduce it to more people. So NDIS and investment mortgages is the end of July webinar that we'll be doing. And until then, stay safe, people, and thank you for all attending. Thank you.